Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our show brought to you by Calhoun's. If you're getting together to watch football today or the next couple of weekends, then you need to get a Calhoun's party platter, boneless wings platter, wet wings platter, naked wings, ribs, chicken tenders, all kinds of party planners from Calhoun's, and they all feed 8 to 10 people, and you don't have to cook, and the cleanup is quick and easy. Calhoun's, folks. Check them out. Party platters. All right, guys, for a while, David Blackburn seemed like the top candidate. Phillip Fulmer had endorsed him as well. But this week, Fulmer himself became the hot story. Some people calling his hiring imminent. Well, it depends on your definition of imminent, I guess. Maybe him, but I don't know. Yeah, May is imminent. My question, if David Blackburn doesn't have enough experience, and that's the knock.
Yes.
There are some people on the committee that were okay with Blackburn, some who were not. Those who are not reportedly, and I believe you reported this, were not enamored with his experience.
Lack of experience.
How do you then turn to a man with zero experience?
I don't know, but I think that's what might very well happen.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Well,
To
if
me,
you
it seems
compare
kind
the
of odd.
resumes, I don't know what about Phillip Fulmer's resume compared to David Blackburn says Phillip Fulmer. Now, you might have stronger connections, and that doesn't even mean that Phillip Fulmer wouldn't do a good job as the athletic director, but if it is about experience and the resume heading into the position, well, I would think that David's resume would be stronger.
If you took the names off.
And there's also, isn't there also a school of thought that David Blackburn may not be as viable of a candidate as I've heard that said too, that was more of a media thing, and to me that would be ludicrous.
I think he'd be very viable.
Well, but
I do
if you
too.
gave me
I think
Chattanooga or
he's very
Tennessee,
willing and viable.
If you had 6 on the committee and 2 said he
he's
didn't
easy, is what you're saying.
if there's 6 on the committee and 2 didn't think he had enough experience, but the other 4 didn't agree with that, maybe that's where you're coming to a difference. Because it gets back to what you were talking about earlier. I do think they're tugging at each other. They're different people that have different opinions, and we got to get this done by December. No, you didn't win that battle. It's going to be later than that.
Right.
So I do think there's a tug of war that is going on.
Any chance then that Fulmer is the compromise? That
Yeah.
that's where it's become. That you've got people, I wanted this guy and I wanted this guy, and somebody said, let's just go get Phillip Fulmer. And you and I spoke last Sunday before the show. I didn't take it seriously, didn't bring it up, because I was told last week Phillip Fulmer was calling boosters and campaigning for the job. Now, publicly, and this is one reason I think Phillip Fulmer may be good for the job. I think his political instincts, obviously over the last 30 years or so, I think a lot of people who've dealt with him would say pretty good on the politics side. And you need that in an AD, and I think that would be good. I mean, if they do a TV show about the guy, it's going to be played by Kevin Spacey, kind of a Frank Underwood, because if you're David Blackburn right now, and Phillip Fulmer endorsed you and said, I'm not interested, now I'll do anything to help the school, but then he's campaigning for the job. Well, I wonder what the Blackburn-Fulmer relationship is at this moment. Everybody gives me the blank stares. Nobody wants to touch that one.
But my thought has been, if you can hire David Blackburn but also still involve Phillip Fulmer in a very prominent role, I think that would be great for both of them as well as the University of Tennessee.
That's what I think they should do.
Yes.
And hire Phillip to help with football. You got football. You're an assistant athletic director for football, and David Blackburn handles everything else.
And Phillip could he also
That's
help
what
with fundraising. I mean,
See,
that makes
He
perfect
sure could.
sense as the associate athletic director for football and fundraising.
I'm not in on hiring 2 people. If you hire Fulmer, hire Fulmer. If you hire Blackburn,
But,
hire Blackburn.
isn't
Mike,
it-
what's your thought?
Yeah, I'm a little uneasy how that a two-headed thing would work there, especially given Phillip football, and then David Blackburn's the athletic director, but not for football. I don't know.
And Blackburn's
Well,
background is football as well. I just wonder, you look at Barry Alvarez. We pointed this out last week. There were 2 of the Power 5 conferences. Only two ADs were ex-football coaches. Now there's only one. Bill Battler retired, so it's Barry Alvarez. Alvarez has found good coaches. The problem is none of them want to coach under him. They leave because he's hands-on. And what happened when he had an interim spot? He took it himself. He coached the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. I don't know that you want to let's put it this way. If I'm Butch Jones and they hire David Blackburn, I feel one way. If I'm Butch Jones and they hire Phillip Fulmer, I'm feeling a whole different set of pressures. Now, maybe Fulmer would be the best guy for him, or he could be the worst. I think it's going to be more extreme with Phillip Fulmer than it would be with Blackburn or somebody else.
My thinking is that if Phillip gets the job, he's going to focus on football, and somebody else is going to handle the other things. So I'm going to hire Blackburn to handle the other things as the AD, and then Phillip will be the assistant AD in charge of football.
That'd be a very Tennessee thing to do, though. We're going to hire a guy who's going to handle everything. I mean,
I would
It's been
do
a
it.
very
Most
Tennessee
schools-
process.
I think
We're on
most
a
schools would
different
look at
page. I
it.
would do it.
We are. Most schools, I think, would look at it and say, let's hire an AD rather than create 2 spots. But let me ask you this. You get your say. We're good.
I did.
I agree with your point. Well, no, I disagree with your
did.
point, but I'm
you
good with
heard
you
my
making
point.
it. But I'm happy with you making it on this show. America. That's right.
We'll make it great.
Let's see. What else are going to? Is there any chance? I mean, what do we think the odds are of somebody else coming from left field? With UT, anything's possible. But is this thing looking like it's stacked for Fulmer at this point?
Well,
Or do we still think Blackburn has a shot?
what does the new chancellor want? I mean, that could be the chance for something from left field to me. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. Isn't her athletic director when he formerly at Colorado?
Yes.
Maybe she wants to bring him. I mean, yes, there is.
And
a
he's the
chance.
one that, and I heard he can't make any good hires. Well, Colorado just has the coach of the year in the nation.
McIntyre.
Yeah.
So
And tried to hire Butch Jones. Who
that's
ended up
another
at
reason he
Tennessee.
ain't no good. Well, that's what some of the folks around here would say. All right. So we're right now, DiFilippo on the search firm, Peyton Manning.
Search committee.
The interesting, I will say another interesting point here. If you go and hire Philip Fulmer, I would bet you're the first school in the country to have some of the same boosters fire a man as a coach and then
yeah.
run back and hire him as AD,
Yeah.
which again speaks to only at UT.
Tennessee,
Is that a
baby.
makeup call?
Yeah, maybe. Interesting stuff. We're going to talk more about the AD search in the overtime segment with Mark Pankratz, too. All right, Blackburn, Fulmer, they're football guys. What's that mean for a basketball coach and the non-football sports over there? That'll be in overtime. Coming up next, Mark Pankratz joins us to talk Tennessee beating Mississippi State. Then we got Kentucky this week. We're also going to talk about UT's coaching staff moves. Come on back on the Sports Source.